All right, so we're back here once again on Couch Coach Live. This time a special night, Thursday night
Mm,
under lights. Normally on our Wednesday slot, but we're
right.
here on a Thursday on a special edition of Couch Coach Live. What's going on, Maui?
What's up, man? It's
Man,
hectic today, man. It's so much going on. I just watched the first playing tournament semi,
yeah,
right? And then
mm,
the Steelers is playing, and then 9 o'clock the Lakers is playing, and then my brother's
yeah,
team is playing. It's loaded
yeah,
tonight.
man. It's a good slate of games. Like you said, I watched that as well with the Pacers doing their thing. And I don't know, some of this Pacers team is really exciting. It's funny because quiet as kept. I actually watched their game on Monday versus
Hmm.
Boston. And it's so crazy how it felt like a playoff atmosphere type of game, and it was really exciting. And it's kind of one of the things where it's weird to think it really kind of, in my personal opinion, kind of competed with the Monday Night Football game, even though Jacksonville Cincinnati was a great game as well. Definitely huge shout out to Jake Brown and doing his
Right.
thing on Monday night. But yeah, man, that was I like this. The playing tournament has been an extreme success.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, definitely great slate of games tonight. Like you said, then you got the Thursday night game, which at New England, man, that's how the mighty have fell,
Right.
and it's embarrassing to see what's going on in New England. But hey, it is what it is.
Hmm.
So we got a great show lined up for you tonight. So we'll talk about the latest news with Hayden Hurst. We'll talk about Adam Silver. A few things. We'll talk about his comments on the Chris Paul versus Scott Foster situation. Then also we'll talk a little LeBron James. Um, his potentially missing the game if it coincides with with Bronny's USC debut, and then also Ime Udoka and LeBron essentially being ejected the other day, and our thoughts on that. We'll talk about the game of the week for us to watch this weekend, pick six, and then our game ball, and that pretty much what we're gonna do tonight. So what we'll do, we'll keep the intro, and we'll be right back here on Couch Coach Live.
Shoot.
All right, we're back here on Couch Coach Live. Definitely still sending healing energy to Big Kirko, recovering from his Achilles injury, but he'll be back in 2024 better than ever. So we got to talk about a very interesting, crazy story in the National Football League. So last night, um, Hayden Hurst, the tight end for the Carolina Panthers, his father went on social media and announced that Hayden Hurst is suffering from a post-traumatic amnesia,
Mm.
and that was from pretty much from a independent neurologist who diagnosed Hayden Hurst with that injury. Now, the injury was suffered on November 9th when the Carolina Panthers played the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football a few weeks back. And also at that time it was ruled as a concussion at that time. So Hayden Hurst has returned to the practice field. He is still essentially targeting next week as his potential return back on the field. And did a little research. I am a couch coach, but I'm not a doctor. But I did look up as far as what was a post-traumatic amnesia. So it could be a series of things, but the the bulk of it is essentially where there's like confusion, frustration, those type of symptoms occur in that type of realm. They don't deem this as a career-ending injury. So I want to get your thoughts on Hayden Hurst and his injury.
It's amnesia is basically when you kind of like forget things, right? Or you just don't remember some stuff or some.
It's like in this case, it's like more like a confusion. Like, yeah, I mean, you can
Right,
say that like lost, but like
right.
confused, like kind of don't know where you're at, kind of that type of
Ah, they said
thing.
they're trying to have him. He's trying to. They said it's not career ending, so he's in the process of trying to come back. And I was like, man, y'all might want to wait till like next season or something, give it some time. You know what I mean? But now that's I hadn't really heard anything about this, and when you put said it's gonna be on the show, I looked it up, and I was just like, wow, I thought amnesia's memory, blah blah. But they're saying no, he still can be able to play. So maybe that's it. Sometimes when you lose memory, sometimes you have to go back to doing the normal things that you've done, and then maybe the memory come back. But I just thought it's interesting that they trying to get him back on the field.
I mean, it's to me, this is really scary, and it's
Right.
and it's one of those things where
Right.
I think on the surface, I'm like you, where hey, I'm the Panthers are 1-10. Let me just sit out for the final 5 games that we got left in the season. So a part of me, I get that from this standpoint. Um, with the Hayden Hurst thing, it is but now when I think about it, I think this is the first time we actually heard someone being
Right.
diagnosed with this. But then when you sit down and you think about it, a lot of people, when they recall when they get a concussion, 9 times out of 10 they really don't even remember the play itself or what kind of transpired after it.
Yeah.
So this is one of those where it's kind of a strange kind of
Right.
diagnosis. I know it kind of came out. If yesterday felt like it came out left field, but then when I thought about it, this is probably gonna it's something that's potentially could be common.
And
But
basically, you saying the same thing I'm saying. They're not really going to win anything. Why are you trying to get him back on the field? Like, why don't you sit him down, do some tests, do some exercises? You know what I mean? So to see if he can, let's see if he could be somewhat of himself next season.
yeah, um, yeah, and that's scary. I mean, it's like it is really scary when you think about, especially in that type of regard, when you as far as having like confusion, frustration. It's kind of one of those where it's like you said, more so does it require further testing to a point where does he just need to sit out so we see how it look how he will feel in these next few weeks to kind of get a gauge of kind of how this all will play out, and then even though he is playing,
Right,
there's still a component in my mind thinking to myself, how will this affect him on the field?
right,
Especially when it comes to play calling, when it comes to certain things that's going on in the realm of the game. Because and now if the situation where he was shut down for the year, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
right,
But he's in practice currently, and he's
right.
eyeing a return for potentially next week to be on this field.
And
So
he's a tight end, and the way they worded him is that he's the quarterback who they're saying is has underachieved and is short. So a lot of short quarterbacks, they tend to throw to their tight ends. And one thing that happens to a tight end, they're big, so you got to pop them to get them down. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna definitely yeah, this is a very scary situation, but I'm glad it isn't a career ending injury for him. So just wishing the best for luck on the field, and ride out these next couple games, before the season over. And
Hmm.
I guess more so it's a good thing to maybe get his confidence back up, especially after hitting having it, because that was a rough hit on that
Right.
Thursday night football game a couple weeks
Hmm.
back. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's yeah, definitely. So we
man.
gotta talk about
Sending good vibes to him, man. Hope everything work out.
yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. So we'll talk now. We'll head to the association. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. Obviously, with Adam Silver, also we talked about the playing tournament. So obviously, Adam Silver essentially has been, I call it like on the car wash as far as when it comes to media. He's been on several outlets throughout, promoting the in-season tournament, and then also just talk about other issues that are happening in the association. So we'll kind of talk about the situation at hand. So we backtrack. So about literally almost 2 weeks ago, uh, Golden State Warrior guard Chris Paul was ejected a couple weeks back by Scott Foster. And so, and they talked about, and we all know there's a long stemming beef, and we'll talk about that momentarily. And pretty much Chris Paul said, hey, this is a personal, that was a personal vendetta on me. That was personal. It won't nothing within the realm of the game. Mm-hmm. Then, so Adam Silver, now this happened November the 22nd. So it's literally been almost 2 weeks. Well, it has been 2 weeks, come to think about it, when this happened. So Adam Silver finally addressed it, I think yesterday or a few days ago, and pretty much said, hey, you don't have to be friends, but you have to go out and do your job. So pretty much saying, hey, and they need to, just do their job and be professional. So the backstory behind that, nobody really knows about why this is personal. And it'll be quickly. And this is from Gil's Arena. So that's one of the things where, hey, I got this from Gil's Arena. So essentially what happened, and like Chris Paul said, the beef between him and Scott Foster's personal. So this is, obviously we got Lil Chris, his son, which now is a teenager, but when he was a little bit younger, he was in a parking garage after following an NBA game, and he just around the, just around the parking garage. Mm-hmm. So Scott Foster and a couple referees were in a car approaching little Chris and told him, get the fuck out the way, and then other expletives that followed. So even though Chris Paul wasn't there at the time of the incident, but he was aware of the situation. And ever since then, and the league knows this. The league is not something that's, the league know, everybody in the league know that they had this issue. This issue isn't like new. It might be new to some people, but this is an issue that has happened that people know about. Mm-hmm. So your thoughts on Adam Silver pretty much telling Chris Paul and Scott Foster to pretty much, let's just be professional. Your thoughts on it?
Basically, I don't know. The more I think about it, I said, okay, I thought it was something to say. Because Chris Paul seemingly seems like that's what he's trying to do. Even when they're asking about it, he doesn't really want to talk about it because he doesn't want to be fined. We heard it from Gilbert Arenas podcast show, and he went into detail like he always does. But the question you're asking me, how do I feel? I think it's put out there, and I'm hoping that Foster pulls back some, because it's definitely to the forefront now. You know what I mean? And everybody's going to be paying attention to that now, because now it's out there. So the only thing that Adam really could say is they just need to be professional. He can't really say anything else. You already know that he's not going to punish Scott, clearly. You know what I mean? Yeah. The way he spoke about him, he said he's highly respected. That's why he's always doing the finals and blah, blah, blah. And then but I believe Adam Silver actually listens to the players. My bad. Shut up, coach. No, but he listens to the players. So I'm sure there was a conversation that happened. You know what I mean? I really, really believe that there was a sit down, because even Chris back in the day said there was a meeting. I'm sure it was another one, because he can't really Foster. He has to do his job, but man, something got to happen. And then to see is how many games that he's actually lost, man, because it's crazy to me. Almost make you want to protest.
Yeah, and I mean, I think to me it's a quick solution. I think Scott Foster should never referee Golden State Warriors games or or whatever team Chris Paul plays for, because
Right.
now you're looking at it from a standpoint of you, and honestly, you are messing with the integrity of the game,
It's very much so.
because now you sit down, you think about it, like this situation, like I necessarily, and I'm not a Chris Paul guy.
Me neither.
Do I think the situation on November 22nd warned him to be double checked and eliminated from that game? No. I think if it was just a regular referee, I think he might have got a tech and it would have been okay.
Right.
But I think that's where my issue comes in hand. Now you're looking at it from a standpoint, like people said, and you got to think to yourself when and this could be something that has somewhat of a betting ramifications too, in a sense where if I know, okay, if I'm betting on on the Warriors, and they're supposed to be the favorites coming to the game, and then I found out Scott Foster is refereeing the game. Oh, I'm putting my money on the other team that he's going against. So my thing is this, and especially for something of this personal nature, when it's involving someone's child, and I can understand if it's a personal beef, like, hey, I don't like this person because this and third, but there is a legitimate reason why Chris Paul would not like like Scott Foster. So this is kind of one of those things, in my personal opinion, where they should just be avoided, because obviously this is a situation where obviously Scott Foster, I don't think, and this is just me, this is my thoughts on it. Because to me, if it was just something simple as, hey, my bad, I shouldn't have spoke to little Chris like that, and I'm sorry for talking to your son like that. So a part of me, I think if he would have came to Chris Paul and say, hey, I'm sorry for cussing out your son, this, that, and the third, then I think everything would be good. And you got to think to yourself, little Chris is a teenager, so this thing's been going on for years and years and years, because he was like a small child. So I mean, you're thinking to yourself, and probably the last 6-7 plus years. So I think the remedy of the situation, like you said, especially when it comes to Adam Silver, it's weird because, like you said, to me, everybody look at him as the prisoners running the asylum.
Right.
This is something where a player. This is where Chris Paul and this is where Adam Silver to say, hey, you cannot referee any game that Chris Paul is involved. And plus with the Warriors now, they're not going to the NBA Finals, so we don't have to worry about them facing. I mean, they might have some success in the postseason, but have Scott Foster having on another assignment, So yeah,
that's just hands down, especially that we know that exactly. Especially when we know for a fact that something.
I'm all done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You good? You good, man? You go.
You sure?
Yeah, because I was gearing to wrap up. Yeah, but you good though.
Okay. I'm just saying we know he did something extremely personal. So you're right. It should just be an easy switch. That's all I would say.
Yeah, and like I said, Golden State ain't gonna really do much in the playoffs, and they're not gonna be a factor when it comes to NBA Finals. I think what happened on November 22nd, that should be the last time that Chris Paul and Scott Foster should ever be in a game.
Right.
So I think that should just be it at this point, because it's dumb, because now you're gonna mess with the integrity of the game, and you're messing with it by doing something like this.
Yeah, I don't think Foster really need his name in anything, because his name is tied to what is it, Tim Donaghy? Donaghy, his name is tied into him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Rasheed Wallace is speaking on it, like, you just referee the game, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the problem, because he's not, because like the situation on November 22nd.
Right.
I don't like, that's where it's like, because that's like we're saying. That's why this whole professionalism thing, that's cute and all, but these dudes clash, and they clash for a reason.
Right.
Like, yeah, when you tell somebody, a child, to get the F out the way,
right,
that's not gonna fly.
Yeah, it's not gonna fly
at all.
I want to know so much more about that. I want to know that was somebody's hands being put on somebody. He said he had a meeting. Chris Paul said, me and my dad. I was like, your dad? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, your dad? And they all had to sit down and have a meeting. I was like,
yeah.
But you know what was weird? Chris Paul looked like he was nervous to talk about it, like he's going to be fined if he talk about it. You know what I mean? And I was
Call.
like, yo,
Yeah.
people are coming out and saying that this guy is behind you losing games. The games he refs pertaining to you, you're losing games. I wouldn't even want to
Yeah.
like, oh man, I'm not even picking up Chris Paul.
Yeah. And he probably trying not to say nothing because I know it's probably gonna piss him off even more because that's like an open wound. Like you
Right.
can't like when you like I can see if he may have told Chris Paul that Chris Paul probably would let that fly. But when they come to your kids, man, like and you ain't gonna let that mess fly. That mess gonna stay to retirement. That's gonna stay until forever. He can't do that. You can't be cursing a bad child out. I mean, we know that.
You
That's you lucky Chris Paul won't in the building when that happened. Because
right.
Chris Paul, you know,
So this is what I don't understand. I'll say so he said that to Chris Paul. So they had a meeting. So since then, this guy has I'm guessing he must have gotten in trouble. So he got a grudge because of that incident, the ref?
well, it's about well, I mean, you would assume because if okay, like to me, I don't know,
Right.
if he cursed out Lil Chris because of his hatred of Chris Paul. I don't know
Yeah.
about that part, but there's something where I mean, you can get mad, but then there's a point where Chris, I'm sorry for cussing out your son.
Right.
Well, let's just let bygones be bygones and what's this
Right.
and that third. But that just shows you this is deep seated, and it's not just on the surface level. Like I said, like if it was a situation where I think if he cursed out Chris Paul, I think
Right.
he would have been okay with that. Hey man, we just let it roll. But when you talking about my kid, like
Right.
it gets there.
So that's I'm saying like so something really got to be wrong with this ref so that you're upset because Chris Paul's upset that you said disrespected his son and cursed at him. So you have this grudge that you're going to constantly call his games and it seems unfair in some type of way. That's that messes up the integrity right there. I would never like. Why would you even have him, regardless, ref the game when you see though that incident has happened and you see now we're looking like 20-25 games uh he's lost because of this
Yeah,
because this ref his games that he would just happen to ref these important games that Chris Paul has lost.
yeah,
That's
and and
crazy.
and it's crazy because the league they so proactive in certain things. It's just like, but then when it comes to situation, that's actually something that merits them not even being on the floor together.
Right.
Like because we even know even when it comes to stuff in the NBA, if you and another teammate mess with the same woman, they can somebody leaving that team. Like little
Right.
stuff like that. Like
Right.
okay, they need to be separate.
Right.
This situation, I'm like, and the league knows it, and it's not like something that
Right.
like it's known, and they've had meetings, they've had like this, like I would consider like
Right.
mediation type situations. So
Right.
I'm just like, y'all should know, separate these two.
Right. This is
Like,
we've been there.
well, I'm saying, yeah,
Right.
just
Right. That's crazy.
conflict resolution at its finest. You don't tell them they just need to be professional. This situation, you cannot tell somebody who cursed out a child to be professional. That
Hmm.
shows you're not professional at all. Like that
Right.
shows you could honk the horn, you can say, "Hey man, get out the way." But
Hmm.
you telling somebody to get the f out the way? Come on, dude.
Right.
What you think
What
gonna
he should have
happen?
said, honestly, is that Scott Foster needs to be more professional. That's really what he's supposed to say, not Chris Paul. He really supposed to say
Right.
Scott Foster needs to be more professional because he is the unprofessional one.
The initiator,
Right.
the flame starter, that
Right.
started all this
Looks
this
like to me
mess.
he worse than Draymond Green.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm like, I don't know, like why. I don't know, and that's why I feel so weird. That's why it's like the NBA is so crazy to me. Like normally they are good about
Right.
mitigating these situations, but it's like then. The crazy thing about all this is, so I read another article. I think it's from the one of the San Francisco newspapers, and they're even saying that Adam Silver didn't even reach out to Chris Paul. They didn't even reach out to Chris Paul. I don't know about Scott Foster, but just
Right.
from Chris Paul perspective, he's like, this is the first time that he even addressed it. So
Wow. So the only reason he really spoke was because, or even was speaking publicly was because of the in game tournament, wasn't it? And they just so happened to ask that question.
pretty much, because pretty much he been doing a car wash essentially. You know, when it comes to that type of, yeah, because you think about it, the incident happened before Thanksgiving, and
Right.
we sitting here the second week of December. Like you said, if it wasn't an in season tournament, we probably wouldn't know nothing since All Star game probably.
Right. And that's probably why Chris Paul kind of like ain't saying nothing about it. He just like, man, it is what it is.
Yeah, but yeah, man, Chris Paul, man. And this topic, I'm definitely pro Chris Paul. I
Yeah,
would
it's about time for Scott Foster to go because I think that
he
it,
had to go.
it's messing up his legacy because he is tied into Tim,
Yeah,
and then the
yeah,
simple fact that they're saying that Chris Paul loses
yeah,
when you ref,
yeah,
and it's something personal. Is what's the difference between what you doing and what Tim did?
yeah. I know, right?
If they, you
It's
know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Though Tim gambled, whatever, but you still is doing something to take the integrity of the game. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
literally picking on somebody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. November 22nd was a perfect example of that. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about LeBron James. We'll talk about the situation. We'll talk about first um, with Bronny James. So as we
Mm-hmm.
all know, Bronny James suffered a cardiac arrest in July, and essentially he went for surgery following that incident. And he's been cleared by the doctors I think almost about a month now, as far
Mm-hmm.
as him being able to practice and do his thing. So
Mm-hmm.
and then it's some conflicting reports about like his potential return. I do want to so Yahoo Sports analyst Kristen Peak, she tweeted out on Monday that there's a possibility that Bronny may make his debut on December the 10th, which is Sunday. So but that's like a timetable. That's just, they think that's a projection, but
Mm-hmm.
that's here nor there. So pretty much, but Coach Enfield did say essentially his return is imminent. Like his return is going to be him being on the court is going to be very soon. So with
Right.
that being said, they asked LeBron James about essentially his thoughts on it, and he was pretty much saying, "Hey, if the Lakers are playing that same day, that he's going to miss the game, so he'll see for Bronny's return." And he pretty much said, "Hey, his family first." So, Mal, I want to hear your thoughts on what LeBron said.
Yeah. Just bottom line, I don't think anybody should take it personal. I don't think you already know what he's done for the league. He taking it's a good excuse. He going to see his son, and even more, you seen what happened to his son. So he definitely wants to be there to see him. Want to live that moment, especially a moment that LeBron had never done, was play in college. So I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean?
Same here. I think that's one
Yeah.
thing too. I think there's some people that say stuff here, and he pretty much said hypothetically, because it could be a situation like in this case,
Right.
if he does make his debut on Sunday, he wouldn't miss a game because their next game will be Tuesday against Dallas. So he would be
Mm.
totally fine if this happens on
Right.
Sunday.
Right.
So my thing, yeah, and it's people that's been like kind of going against it, but I'm like at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, it's like you said, family first. I mean, especially considering the fact, and even if Brian didn't have a cardiac arrest, I think he still would have been within his right to do it. But like you said, I think adding the cardiac arrest incident
Mm-hmm.
definitely heightened this, because now you think to yourself, this is a miracle. I mean, people
Mm-hmm.
don't realize, if Bronny got the help right in time,
Mm-hmm.
It's a miracle. So
Right.
for him to even be on the court and doing his thing, and like you said, and at the end of the day, it's family first. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what happened, I know LeBron got a million adoring friends, as young folks call Glazers. But at the end of the day,
Right.
we all we have is our families.
Right.
Like because the people, all the people that love and adore you, they can turn on you in an instant, but your family don't.
Right.
If anything can happen, hell, if he loses this in season tournament, people are gonna hate on him for that. But guess who ain't gonna
Right.
hate on him? His family.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I love the fact that that he did preface, family over everything. And then you got to think yourself, dude in the league 21 years. If dude want to take a day off, I can care less. I don't even care
Right.
if he want to go and see his great nephew play pickleball at LA Fitness on a Tuesday night. Dude
Right.
deserves it, man. 21 years in the league. I'm not gonna be the one that said, "Oh, you can't do this." I'm not gonna be
Right.
like, you know, hey man, enjoy your life, enjoy your
And
family.
and then he didn't play. He didn't get a chance to play in college,
Yep.
and he can. And then you don't. You only get one moment. You know what I'm saying? It's moments in life, and this is a moment. This is his oldest. That's named after him. That's about to step on a court to play college basketball. You know what I mean? And then you gotta understand, Ron don't have a father. You know what I'm saying? So you look in them stands and you see man, my dad here. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he feel the same way to say, man, Bronny here, let me ball out. You know what I'm saying? Which I see Bronny has been to a lot of these Laker games. You know what I mean? And that's probably where LeBron getting a lot of his energy from. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yep.
hey man, come on, y'all. We all got kids. You know what I'm saying? We all got we all got kids. You you're a billionaire. Like, why be a billionaire if you can't do some of the things you want to do? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And yeah. Yeah, and like you said, it does give him a boost, and it's funny when he talked about seeing Bronny for the first time in 2 weeks, and that makes me feel extremely old. And I think about LeBron, I still think about the teenager,
Right. Me too.
and I think part of me still thinking because I still want to feel that way. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a symptom of arrested development in a sense, but
Hmm.
that's here no deal. But like even hearing, when he came to the game, just kind of the joy that he was like, good, to finally see him after 2 weeks, and like you
Hmm.
said, Bronny gonna remember this. That's one thing too, where I think people, we had to really sit down and show up for our family because at the end of the day, and when all said and done with, Bronny gonna remember, hey, he came to my game and my college debut. He's not gonna remember, oh yeah, my father's an all-time leading scorer in NBA history. He has 4 NBA titles. Oh my gosh, he hit 40,000 points. He played in the league 20 plus years.
Right.
He played, he's won a championship everywhere he's been. He's won a
Right.
championship in Cleveland. He
Right.
ain't gonna remember that shit. I mean, he
And that's for
will, but I
us.
mean, yeah,
You know,
that's for
that's his
us. But
dad. Yeah.
for Bronny, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the moments where he is going to
Right.
cherish, and for him to have that opportunity, why not? And plus, dude, it's one day, and it may not even be a day that they playing. The Lakers may not even be playing.
Hmm.
You know,
I mean, how did you feel? This is random, and I know you know. How did you feel during what was it, the Eastern Conference finals when Vince Carter went to go get his degree?
I didn't mind that. I mean, because I think if my memory serves correct, I think that was his promise that he was going for his mother. Like, hey, I'm
Yeah, the
gonna
problem for his
graduate from
mom.
high
Right.
school. So
Right.
it's like I didn't have a problem because they like, oh, well, he missed a game winning shot. Okay. If he would have missed that game winning shot if he didn't graduate from college, I mean, it's a shot. Like,
Right.
it's not going to be a situation where it's just like, oh my gosh, you took that private jet to Chapel Hill. You missed a shot because you took a private jet. No, he missed a shot because he just missed a shot. I don't care if he would have just arrived in the arena 10 minutes prior to that shot. He was gonna miss that shot. It's a shot.
Where did that come from? Like, I just feel like some older people, some old school people, they wouldn't even have tripped off like that. Where did
That
that come from? Where people say you need to stop everything because this game is so important that you can't even eat beans because you might have stomach issues. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, where does
Yeah.
that come from? That people that we got
I
that
think
mindset of. Go ahead.
I think it's just the old school mentality. I think it's just that old school mentality back in the day, like get off my lawn type of folks. Because when we talked about this before, well, we've talked about situations where guys were, they weren't pregnant, but their wives was expecting children.
Right, right,
We've had talked about coaches, players,
right.
and their decisions if they were going to play in the game or they was going to witness the birth of their child. So it's kind of one of those things where,
Yeah,
it's a lot different. I'm glad a lot of guys have became selfish in that regard now,
right,
more so
right,
in it. And plus, if you look at some of these guys, you think to yourself, and I know we understand that there is still a sacrifice involved in this, but like certain moments, like what's going on with Bronny,
right.
no, I mean you can sacrifice for certain other moments in his life, but something as major as this, where situation where he could have died. That is
Right.
not to be morbid in this situation, but I mean he got the proper help in time, and he was able to recover from that. Like you said, usually when you have cardiac arrest, if you're it used to be you'll never play basketball a day in your life. And to
Right.
think we sitting here almost 5 months after the situation, coming up on 5 months, and he's potentially going to be on the court.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you got to celebrate. That's something that you have to make that your work sacrifice,
Right.
for that. So
Kudos, LeBron. Great, great
yeah,
father. Word.
great father. Yeah. That's one thing you can't say nothing about him. He could be, well, yeah, I can throw shade about LeBron, but he don't play about his kids. So, hey,
Hey,
I'll get
hey.
something all you want.
That's a remark I'm saying to say. Word.
Right. Because I know a
Right.
little export, and let me stop.
Right.
All right. So we'll talk about and this was very, very weird. This is a situation I did not think was going to happen. It really blew my mind that this happened, because I thought, it's weird because even, obviously we're talking about Ime Udoka versus LeBron James. We got a video queued up. We'll get that momentarily to kind of set it up. So they got in a little bit of a little tussle, as young folks say, and both of them that led to both their ejections. We'll do the video first, and then we'll talk about our commentary, because this was rather strange. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna add that now. And before we do that, it's this is fair use. Fair use.
Viewed what was said between LeBron James and Ime Udoka during yesterday's game, where Udoka. And leading up to the exchange between LeBron and Udoka, players from the Lakers and Rockets were kind of getting into it after a foul, and that's when Udoka said, "Stop crying like bitches." And then LeBron went over there, and Dylan Brooks kind of got in the way and pushed him away from Ime Udoka. But now I've put together both sides of the courtside video and what was shown during the broadcast. Let me know if it's pretty accurate. It has been revealed what was Udoka during yesterday's game.
All right, so yeah, we got it. All right, got it back.
So Braun got ejected too?
All right. Yeah, I think Braun. Yeah, Braun. I think Braun got ejected too. I think.
That's crazy. Anyway,
I don't know.
I think
they both got
did.
ejected, but I'm not sure. But
Ime Udoka had it.
Okay,
It was
got
his
it.
second check. It was his
Ime
second check.
did. Ime did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just I didn't I just didn't like the you soft ass boy. I just felt like those are some words that shouldn't be used. That was my only issue. That's what I mean. The other part, I
Yeah.
felt like in some type of way, LeBron was trying to tell him, "Hey man, you shouldn't use that word lightly, especially being who you are and what you done been through." You know what I mean? That's what I took from that. And then I didn't like the soft ass boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was really interesting, like just the whole exchange itself, because him, going up to LeBron saying, "Hey, stop your being," and
Right,
then LeBron like, "Hey, we're grown men, like you using that word, no, you using that
right,
word lightly, so." And then, like you said, they call him a soft little boy. I like,
right.
whoa, like he kind of took it to the next level, and I think it's one of those where it's weird. I like I said, this was an exchange I definitely did not ever think was going to happen, because I don't know why I always think when it comes, and I understand this is like kind of trash talking. This is kind of like what they do in a sense, but a part of me is like, you a coach, like really, and I think like you said, I think it's and like this whole trying to play mind games with LeBron James thing is kind of like kind of played out. It's kind of funny, but it's just like what are we still trying to poke the bear after all these years? Like I don't I think it was funny. And it was funny how LeBron was like, they asked him, he's like, "Well, we just talking about our Thanksgiving."
Right.
Like,
You see what Udoka said?
what
He said
about
that
that whole thing?
he said his whole thing was that we're getting out. My team was getting bullied by a team that's not known for getting bullied, and so I'll say this, and I'm not sticking up from. I'm just trying to, you know, analyze the
Yeah.
situation where by him saying something, he was trying to get them fired up. You know what I mean? Because I think the youngness of the team was starting to show. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whereas, was it a playing tournament game? It wasn't part of the playing tournament, was it? It was just a regular game. Wasn't it?
I think it was just a regular game.
Yeah, they because Houston has beat them, I think, twice,
Yeah, because
and
they
so I
blew
think
him out.
right because
Yeah.
Jalen Green was hitting all these threes. You know what I'm saying? So I think they were like, okay, we need to just play a stronger defense, more team defense, and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just
Yeah.
I, I like Uduka because I think he can coach. I think he proved that he
Yeah.
really could coach, and I think he got a second chance. Where on this show, we basically didn't think he was gonna ever get a chance again. You know what I mean? So I know you don't want to show no weakness, man, but you need to be getting your like you got to pull back a little bit.
Yeah. It's rather interesting. I mean, yeah, because they were getting out physical. They was
Yeah,
getting they made Dylan Brooks look really really soft. I'm like, this whole being this defensive enforcer, and then you hold LeBron back.
right.
I would have pushed him into Ime for real. Yeah, y'all fight. I'd be like, Babs, let him fight. Let him fight. Nah, ain't gonna be no. But in all seriousness, yeah, like I said, and this is to get edge. I think this is one of the things where it just, it is, it's November. At the time, it
Right,
was November, trying to break the monotony of the regular season. So I mean, they won't be giving each other Christmas cards this year. So I
right.
mean, it's okay.
So I had one of my big homies said, "Oh, they would have never talked to he." He said, "I've never seen a coach talk to my goat that way," and I said, "Nope, I never have either." You know what I'm saying? That stuff made me upset. I'm like, "Where's the respect at?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can talk
and
trash, but where's the respect at though?
yeah, and I think I think this is kind of one of those things where I think they're gonna sit back and laugh at this. I mean, it's a part of the game, like the trash talking, the jostling, and all that.
Right,
I think that's a part of the game, and I think
right,
they eventually laugh at this and think,
right.
yeah, just
Unless
it was
Bron's
hilarious.
down with Nia, I'm just that's a shot.
I'll do that. we talk about something. We talk about no Christmas cards. No, somebody Christmas gonna get ruined. Hell no, I ain't responsible for that.
Right.
But yeah, I know, man. It's a trip, but yeah, we gonna. I think down the line they're gonna laugh at this.
You see what Kenya Martin said?
Which
Kenya Martin
one?
said,
About
Bron should have went over there and smacked the shit out of him. Kenya Martin funny. Bron was supposed to go over there and smack the shit out of him, man. Like, who that man talking? What that man talking about?
and then what's crazy to me? So when I was looking this up, right? Because I think Ime Udoka last season was 2010, 2011.
Right.
Man, this man averaged like 0.1 points per game. And I'd be like you said, I'm like I'm on Kmart, like, man, I would have just punched him.
That's one of my favorite show because I've been waiting to see the key.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like I would have, yeah. If I was Dylan Brooks, I would have pushed LeBron right straight dab into Ime. I would have been. That'd have been like I remember when Jason Kidd got bumped that time and dropped his drink.
Right. Yeah, that's what made me think of. Yep.
It it'd have been similar to that because I'm like, nah, man. Because like you said, I mean, it's cool. And hopefully this is just a Joshua. But yeah, part of me is like, man, I'm like, you talking like, I'm like, you talking to me like that, and you telling me to stop my bitching, but you really the, you know.
Come on, man, get put. Can we just play basketball, man? Y'all, and all LeBron said was travel. It was so much stuff adding up to that.
It was,
like, I think,
man.
I think Reddish fouled somebody. And then the dude was supposed to shoot or 3 seconds or something weird. Yeah, the dude was supposed to shoot, and then he kept walking and bumping into Reddish. Like, man, it was like they were trying to start something.
Yeah, man. I think if LeBron retire in the next few years, man, we need to have like a little, remember how like all the athletes fighting each other? Remember who was it? It was like oh man, who was the two? It was Frank Gore and like I forgot he fought somebody.
Yeah,
but we need to have a
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell and got whooped. And that's wild, ain't it? Because I was like, yo, but we need to have a Ime Udoka versus LeBron James matchup because I think they might be about the same height. I think they. Whoa, pause. I was going to say something, but I paused myself before I said what I had to say. But they the same. They literally almost right around the same height. Right. I think Ime kind of get in the gym for a few weeks, kind of tone a little bit, and get LeBron kind of post retirement. I'm like, man, y'all need to fight. We need a fight. We need a heavyweight NBA fight. We need to have that happen. We need to see that.
Hey, you see the highlights of them two playing against each other? Like, I think LeBron had made like a left hand layup. He made him look stupid. Ever since then, LeBron couldn't get past the foul line. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the highlights they kept showing. He couldn't get past the foul line, man. It was crazy. It's like he was pulling LeBron down, like real physical with him.
Yeah, man. That probably be embarrassing to watch.
But anyway, man, I'm happy. Man. But at least they, afterwards, they didn't really say nothing crazy. Even Ime Udoka, he didn't really say that. He probably went to the back and said, I can't be doing that. I'm just trying to get this team fired up. They got to play physical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if y'all down to the scrap, we got a facility for you ready to fight.
Yeah.
So
we don't want them things.
Adam Silver might try, Adam Silver might try to sue me. He might try to do Ice Cube on me. But you know what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but this play-in tournament stuff sure looked very Big Three-ish. I'm sorry. Don't the courts look real Big Three-ish to me? I mean, to you?
Yeah. And the only thing that's missing is this mess was half court.
Right. We'll need a 5-pointer or something like that. What they got? A 4-pointer?
Right. So that's the only thing that's missing. It's the only thing that's missing. If the court would have been shrunk halfway, I mean, all you need, and then if you had Michael Rappaport, Big Three dupe,
Right? They should just squash that. Had a big three. Had a big three joint during the All-Star weekend.
Man, they should do a lot of stuff, man. That's why it's like it's weird, man. It's like that's just like the type of moments like you want to root for Adam Silver, and then sometimes you're like, man, bro, like
Ain't his
sometimes
contract
you gotta
coming up?
feel. I don't know,
I think his contract coming up.
but you know they gonna resign him back.
You think he should? I think he did. I think
I
he did a
mean,
good job.
I think he did it. I mean, yeah, but minus that big three thing, I think he's done a great job.
Right.
I mean, the only thing is, I don't think, but I don't. The only pushback is maybe he's not as a disciplinarian like David Stern was.
Right.
But I get it because you really can't do this in 2000. You can't do what David Stern did from 1980 to 2013. Right. You can't do that now.
Right.
But, I mean, he's done a lot. I mean, he did a lot of innovative stuff.
So look at when David Stern took over and look at what Adam. So those is two different times because that was kind of like no offense, like the 80s was the crack era. There was a lot of things going on then. And then once the 2000s hit, it was different. It was more, it was like, they wasn't doing the drugs. They were looking like drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of that going on. So then like now there's stars. There's no superstars. You know what I mean? There's stars. Now there's potential to be superstars. So he has to do it different. He's got to be more of a big homie type of guy. Let me listen. Let me talk to you, see what's going on. Rather David Stern to talk to Carmelo Anthony was like, what was you doing at that house? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like, man, he the feds. You got to have something a little different.
Yeah, it's like David Stern is the dad, and Adam Silver is like the uncle, the cool, chilled uncle that lets you get away with everything. Like you tell your uncle everything. Man, I done bust a cap.
Right.
I didn't commit a crime. All right, we good. I get straight like that.
Right.
Yeah,
my bad.
But David Stern know like,
right.
Hey, you was here in this abandoned building 2 hours ago with two guys, one wearing a black coat and one wearing a red hat.
Right.
Like, yeah,
right.
Yeah, you think you shoot. He was watching. He was watching everybody.
And so think about it. If he got it in the 80s where he was like the winning time had him like an assistant. So he was there seeing all the crazy stuff that happened in the 70s going into the 80s. Then when he took over, he's watching the transition of everything. You know what I mean? And he's like, by the time LeBron all them came in, he was like, nah, I already got everything situated to make sure I know everything that y'all doing. You know what I mean? If I see anything weird, I'm trying to save you from yourself. You know? So I'm gonna say he's doing a good job. I mean, I think he got things behind himself. He got the bubble. I thought we all think they did a great job with the bubble. I think he kept giving Ja chances. You know what I'm saying? In which he should have. You know what I mean? And Ja's, hopefully Ja then. That's a lot of little things. I think he did a good job with the Ime Udoka situation. To be honest with you, I think they did a good job there too.
Yeah.
So
I think he's handled a lot of the stuff in this modern era really well. Like you said, the bubble, executing the bubble the way it was. We talked about the in-season tournament. You look at now, he's created a buzz. There were so many people outside of the tournament today. So it's like, it generated such a crowd there. And then you just look at and even some of the disciplinarian situations, he's handled it. I think with him, like you said, he's giving guys the benefit of doubt. And I think where I know people think that's a bad thing and a good thing, because even, I don't want to talk about the situation, but he's letting this Josh Giddey situation play out. And that's the smart thing to do, in my personal opinion. Like, let it play out. And then I think that's when he's going to evoke the suspension, because we know, and I think we're so accustomed to the NFL, if you get one allegation, you're on exempt list. So essentially you're benched with pay until we find out what's going on with it. So, I mean, and plus this is, and plus when it comes to the players, I think they have more of I think Adam Silver's more approachable than Roger Goodell too. When we
Right.
think about like as far as when you think about like, okay, which principal officer would you go to? Adam Silver for sure.
Right. Oh man, David here. Damn, Mr. Stern in there. I don't want to go in there.
And and Adam
Mhm.
probably mess around and give you some candy.
Right. Let's
Give you
talk
some
about
candy
it.
out of the candy dish.
You know what? It's funny, man, because I remember being when I went to Woodbridge, we had an assistant. He was the freshman and sophomore principal, and I
Oh,
remember they called me down. It was like two different neighborhoods. You know, we playing basketball. We always competed, and he he said, you know, you guys think y'all know everybody, but he said if I had everybody outside, y'all, it'll be people over there and it'd be people over there. So, and he said if you
yeah.
going down the wrong path, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck. Like I
He's a
can see
damn duck.
Adam, I can see Adam saying something like that. You know what I mean? Quacks like
Mm-hmm.
a duck, walks like a duck. Most likely what? A duck. You know.
Duck.
We all bust out laughing. And it's weird because he was so
Yeah.
corny. When we walked out of there, we were all cool and we were laughing. We kept talking about that situation. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
told my dad, you know, I know we gotta move on, but one thing about LeBron, everybody gotta understand, he needs Dylan Brooks. You know what I'm saying? That's why we watching the game, not just because of the Lakers and the Rockets. We watching to see him and Dylan Brooks. What's gonna happen? Now we're gonna be watching to see what him and Dylan. You know what I mean? I can't
Yeah.
play basketball without you. You know what I'm saying? I gotta
Yeah.
have somebody to go against. So
He needs a villainous character.
right, right.
Yeah. So we'll talk about our game to watch. So this our game to watch segment is powered by SeatGeek. So head over to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code CouchCoach. Get $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek. So we'll talk about our games a week, and if there's any games that you want to see live and in person, use that promo code CouchCoach at checkout at SeatGeek.com. So what's your game to watch this weekend? What you got?
I'm stretching it out, but I got the Vikings versus the Raiders. The Vikings are 6-6, and the Raiders are um I think 4-7. Yeah, I think 4-7 or something like that. So I got that. I think you know Raiders been playing better. So I got the Rams versus the Raiders, and I got the on Monday the in game tournament final on Monday.
All right, there's only one game in town for me this weekend. It's got to be my NFC East brethren, the Eagles versus the Cowboys. To me is going to be a battle of who's going to win the NFC East, and then who is jockeying for the second best team in NFC, because we know that the 49ers is the best team. Heads and shoulders the best team in NFC. So it's a battle who's second place. This is definitely going to be a very good matchup. It's a divisional rivalry, and it's perfect for a Sunday night football game. Can the Eagles snap the Cowboys 14 game home winning streak? And yeah, it's gonna be a great game. Um, yeah, yeah, 'cause
Who do you think gonna win?
Eagles
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that now
that's
I never pick against. I never pick for the Cowboys. Not in this situation
mm-hmm.
whatsoever. Hey, Echo.
It's me.
Okay.
It's me. It's me. Go ahead.
All
Sound
right.
better?
I think we're good now. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. It'll be Eagles. Yeah, Eagles and the Cowboys. That's my game of the week for sure. All right. So we gotta do our pick 7. So our first matchup, we got Army versus Navy, in a very weird situation where the guest picker on College Game Day this weekend is none other than uh, Bill Belichick. So we got a great matchup between uh, our services. Army versus Navy. Who you got?
I got Army.
Yeah, I'm an Army. Yeah, I'm an Army guy regardless, through and throughout. So definitely, shout out to the Army. We got the Colts versus the Broncos. Who you got?
It's actually the Bengals. You know that, right?
Huh? The
It's you
Bengals. The
sure
Bengals play.
you sure? Because
I
I saw
thought
the.
it was.
Am I tripping?
Let me see. I thought it was the Colts and the Broncos. Let me just double check.
Because I
I
think
thought it was the Colts because I think the Bengals.
am I tripping?
Um, I don't know. Let me just double check because I
Uh,
thought. I don't know. Let me just double check.
I got you. Because I could be wrong. I don't mind being wrong.
Let's see. Remind me later. We got. Let's see. Shucks. All right. Let's look at the schedule. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's Colts and the Bengals. Yeah, Colts and the Bengals. What you got?
I got the Colts.
Give me the Bengals. We got the let's see, the Seahawks versus the 49ers. What you got?
I'm going to Seahawks.
All right. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I think we're gonna have a sweep in this series. We got the Bills versus the Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs.
Okay. And it's weird. I keep going back and forth. I think I was on the show on Tuesday night. I had the Bills, but I think I'm a roll with the Chiefs. I think the Bills pretty much their playoff hopes will die in Kansas City, unfortunately. So then we got the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Who you got?
Eagles.
Yeah, I got the Eagles, of course. No doubt on that one. So then we got the two Monday Night Football games. That's probably going to be a dud. This is the Monday night where be with your family, decorate a Christmas tree, go Christmas shopping, watch a Christmas movie, drink hot chocolate. You don't want to watch these games on Monday night. You got first the Titans and the Dolphins. Who you got?
I'm going with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins too. Like I think you can't stop what they doing. And then you got the Packers and the Giants. Blech. What you got?
Packers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Green Bay too. I think this whole Tommy DeVito thing, 15 minutes of fame, it's got to end, and it's got to end soon. So, because it's miserable, it's terrible,
It might be
it's
some good
terrible.
games. It might be some good games though.
No. Luckily, they're coming on at the same time. So it's kind of one of the things. If one game is bad, you can just go to ABC or
Man,
ESPN. So
because I feel like they cheated. I hope the Eagles beat the hell out of the Cowboys, especially because once the Eagles lost, how the Cowboys acted, I was like, oh, they gonna
oh
cream
yeah, they
y'all.
always do. Oh
They
yeah,
gonna
they
cream
always do
y'all,
that.
man. And they cheated for them against the Seahawks. That was horrible. That one drive, I was like, they just gave them flags all the way down the field.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, man, they gonna find out. They gonna find out really quick, and that's gonna be. This is what we're gonna look at this Dallas team and really see what they all about. And this is both for both teams. I think that's one
Mhm.
of the things where a game like this is really gonna prove who's going to win this NFC East. I mean, we know unfortunately now it's a two-team race, and whoever wins, especially you look at Philly gets essentially the sweep. I
Right,
mean, they can pretty much run away with the NFC East, but there's still some time left. But and then
right,
you think themselves they'll be 4-0 in the division, and then they got to play the Giants twice. So I'm like, yeah, they literally can be 6-0 in this division. But
right.
I wouldn't put it past if Dallas do win this game. I mean, they always in a weird way they always in a weird way kind of split season series. Because I know Dallas went into did I think I forgot? No, that's right. They because they lost. They beat Philly at home. That's right. They beat Philly in Dallas last year, right around this time last year. Remember, research correct. So yeah, man, it's going. Like I said, this will be the game of the week.
Right.
This should have been the Monday night game, but
I think the
no,
Eagles.
because it would have rivaled something else. Yeah,
I think the Eagles gonna cream them for the simple fact. I think the only reason the 49ers beat them is because they've been holding that in since last season. You know what I mean? So, but um,
yeah,
I think the Eagles will handle business against the Cowboys. I think they're gonna have to give them a reality check.
yeah. And I love what San Francisco did. I like that made me it just got me inspired. Like, hey, going forward, that's what you gotta do with Philly. You gotta get in their face. You gotta be physical with them. And I'm like, that's the thing that thing it kills me because I always think to myself, if we would have had it in Washington, we had that instinct because we can hang with them, but I don't think we ain't physical as them and we not in their face.
Mm-hmm.
And they be bullying us, and then we don't bite back. I'm like, man, who else would be our coach, man? Do like San Francisco did. If we Lord knows if we don't win football games, at least we gonna win the fight. And they won the fight and they won the fight and the game. So, but yep. So round out tonight's show. We got to do our game ball. Who gets this week's game ball?
I'm giving the game ball a little different. Last week was Showtime's last pay-per-view. So boxing has actually left somewhat cable. It's on ESPN every once in a while, but it's not really on cable anymore. It's not on HBO, not on Showtime. Well, today they signed the dotted line, and boxing will be on Amazon Prime. PBC Boxing will be on Amazon Prime. I'm talking Canelo, Charlo brothers, Danny Garcia, Earl Spence, Terrence. I was about to say Terrence Crawford,
Man.
Floyd Mayweather, top of the line. Deontay Wilder. Like, man, wow, like Amazon doing their thing. And they're not trying to bother you about if you're in the household or not. Remember that. Remember, Amazon's not doing it. They're not bothering you. They're not saying they're raising anything.
I agree.
They're not, dude. They
don't stress.
They just take over.
Yeah, because you know what I'm saying. Your mama, your auntie, your cousin could be watching this Pittsburgh Steelers and New Orleans and New England Patriots game. But sure, they could be doing that. All of them could be watching the game on your account.
Right.
At Netflix, like, nah. Who? Okay, we cut somebody off.
Right. Even when you're playing you might be paying the family joint. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like you have a login in North Carolina. Like, yeah, I mean that's my cousin.
Yeah, that's what the whole reason why you said don't use cable, use Netflix.
Right.
You could use it here, you could use it there. Maybe stop,
playing.
not to be pocket watching pause, but you paying Dave Chappelle and all of them for 1 hour comedy hour, $20 million, $30 million. You're bugging.
Right. And then I gotta have a family plan and everybody gotta live in the house. Huh?
That don't even make sense. Oh, they gotta be connected to your Wi-Fi. That don't even make sense. What if you have two houses?
Right.
Like what if your husband or wife work on the road? Like, what are you talking about?
I know it is. They used to be clutch. Oh boy, getting the Netflix password. I like. Oh man, that was clutch.
And I've been paying. I done had it since 2011, and I have the family joint. I got rid of the mail-in DVDs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I just had this, and I got the family joint. So I've had the family joint for years.
I know,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
It's just like, It's getting outrageous. Like you said, Amazon, because Amazon just know, like, I mean, because at the end of the day, you're gonna need my services. You gonna want that free shipping. You gonna want the Amazon music.
Right.
Look, and Adam Silver, take that beautiful league and take it to Amazon too. All of it.
Right. Right.
Because I'm hoping, since I'm a grandfather member of Amazon Prime, that I should be untouched. So I'm just saying, I've been grandfather since 2018.
I got one for you. My mother.
Yeah.
She was like, Sean, I did it myself. I said, what are you talking about? She said, I went to sports on Amazon Prime, went to sports, and she said, I saw it. It has the website Mountain something that my brother's teams, and then the division that they're in, they have a website and you can watch the games for free.
See?
It's convenience. It's supposed to be in some type of convenience. You know what I mean?
Right. This was what streaming was supposed to be about.
Right. And word. That's what it was supposed to be about. It's supposed to be, hey man, there's no more DVDs, people. There's I mean there is, but nobody's using that. So now you feel like, I told my dude, I said, because I remember when Disney bought everything, he was like, man, Netflix gonna go under. I said, no, it's not. It's McDonald's. It's not going anywhere. It is streaming. It's Netflix. Netflix is the streaming video store. Remember when you go to the video store and you would just look at all the movies? Like, you give a lot of stuff a chance on Netflix, you wouldn't give a chance on anything else. Like, you know?
Yeah, because like you said, we physically had to use to go in the store and get a movie. But that's so weird to really sit down and think about how much fun that really was. Like on a Friday night to go into the video store, the experience of, oh, well, let me go and grab this, and I'm doing it. So it's like these young kids ain't gonna enjoy that thrill.
Did you ever work at one?
No, I never worked at one.
I worked at movie gallery.
Yeah, man, you can. And then you think to yourself, you do that, then you go and grab a pizza, and that's your night. That's your Friday night, and it was so much fun. You go into the store, like you just look at movies, whatever the hot release is. You go, you go to with your family, and then we just on our way home we grab a pizza, and it's a Friday night movie night.
You remember like each movie gallery, Video World, and Blockbuster was like, okay, get a family movie, get a video game, get, you know what I'm saying, and then you get, and they had it like, if you get 4, you get 1 for free or blah blah blah. But it pleased everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, man.
Lord
have
mercy.
Man.
Sports is so weird. Like, how is the Patriots making these boys look so bad? Oh my God, what is going on?
Oh man, I know. It's with sports, man. Sports is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Like, it's heartbreaking. Sports just sometimes sports just put you in such a bad mood. You just be like, you know what? I'm going to bed early.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm sitting here watching it. First play, like he got concussion. It's just, the Patriots look like they in the Super Bowl. That's just crazy.
Yeah, man. But but Adam Silver, I don't think we misses the NFL. I mean, the NBA. Come on to Amazon. Where the grass is green.
Oh my God. And you know what's crazy? The more and more I'm watching NFL on Prime, I'm actually liking it better. It seems like it's more easier. You know what I mean? So I like the, you know, even my dad, he said it's even clearer. It seems like it's clearer on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah. And like I said, man, at 6:59, that thing coming on. I don't think when you hit that 6:59, when that 7 o'clock hit, it's on. It ain't no delay. It's gonna go from the start. Yeah, man. I loved it from the moment I laid eyes on it last year. It's the only thing that sucks about it has been the matchups. But like if they've had some good matchups, this will make the platform is great.
Right.
It's just the games that's been horrible.
And I hope the NFL is smart enough um to put some better games on there next year because
Yeah.
it's the everything is. I have no regrets. It's no buffing or anything. So
It's smooth. It's really
real
smooth.
smooth. Yeah. Real smooth. And then like they even
Yeah.
got it that you'd be like, you want to start from the beginning?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you can start from the beginning. You
right.
can pause,
Right.
and then they even kind of show you like kind of if you look at it from certain angles, you can see like kind of the route tree and stuff. I'm telling you, like that stuff is it's freaking cool, man. Yeah.
What's up,
'Cause I know
cool?
people hated it, and I
Right.
know people hated it in the beginning. I loved it from the like I said, the moment I laid eyes on, it, I loved it.
Bottom line is what's going on, people, is cable is falling. And a lot of people still holding on to it. They keep saying, I'm about to let this go. And it's something I'm hearing that if you was to let it go and get YouTube TV, you wouldn't be missing anything. From what I'm hearing.
And and that's another thing. YouTube TV has gone up exponentially, and this is
Right.
like you're better off if you get like a basic cable channel, basic cable.
Mhm.
You might be just better off.
So what you so I heard something about with Xfinity, like it that your bill go down to like 72 if you get YouTube TV and the internet.
To get back. So there'll be your bill between the two,
Yeah, and I think
or
and plus with the and I think with the cell phone too.
hmm,
I've heard it twice. I hadn't heard it the third time, but it was like $72 altogether. Then you can I think you can make like a buddy list or something like that pertaining to the YouTube something like that. Something.
yeah, yeah, because I know. I think if you just get YouTube TV on the service, it's like $74 or something like that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like 72,
right,
74. Yeah.
and that's a lot.
Man, you know how much I'm paying for internet? I tell you off air.
Yeah, it's just but it's a lot. Like that's a lot. Especially when we looked at how cable used to be.
Yeah,
Before it got too too crazy.
right.
You know, but yeah.
You know it's
So
weird.
yeah,
I know we talk about, I don't hear anybody talk about Dish. I don't hear anybody talk about Direct TV anymore. I don't hear any of that anymore. All I hear is Xfinity and Verizon.
I don't know. Cause I don't know. I mean, I don't know. People really even use Dish like talk about no more.
Right, that's what I'm
I
saying. I don't hear
know
Dish. I don't hear
because
Direct
the
TV.
only time I really heard about Direct TV because of Sunday Ticket. So that's
Right.
I don't but obviously that's gone now. But I haven't seen a commercial ever since they moved to YouTube. For real.
Word.
Since Sunday Ticket. I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah. So my game ball this week's got to go to Tom Hall, the coach of Manchester High School. Stepped down as a head coach this week. 25-year career at Manchester. So definitely huge shout out to Coach Hall, and definitely good luck to you and your future endeavors going forward. And yeah, man. So end of an era at Manchester, but I definitely think it'll be a situation where somebody's gonna come in. They got to fill some big shoes, but I think they'll fit that bill, whoever they hire. So
Right. Hey man,
yeah,
congratulations on your team. I heard Holland Springs moving up, right?
yeah. So they state championship on Saturday. Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Dominance.
Going for number 7. Going for number 7.
Trying to be Tom
Trying,
Brady, huh?
trying to be like Tom Brady, man. So final thoughts before we head on out. What you got?
Oh man, great show. Not mess, man, just great show, man. Can't wait till next week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, once again, another great show. And then also before we head on out, social media, what you got?
DT Morgan 78 Instagram, Deshaun Morgan Facebook.
All right, and pretty much the show, Couch Coach Live, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, well, X, on the Couch Coach Live. Normal spot on Couch Coach Live is Wednesdays, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back
Right.
at our regular scheduled time next week. Also, my Commander Central podcast Thursday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Commanders in the chat. That's kind of one of the reasons why we're in a bad week with the Commanders. So why not do a show like this today on here? So we'll be back on our regular scheduled programming next Thursday, 9 o'clock for that. Commanders ITC on social media. And also check out the website, couchcoachlive.com. Go on that website. You can hear the podcast and also check out my recap from last night's BCU loss to Memphis. So you can go on Couch Coach Live and check that out. And yeah, man, once again, another great show. And we'll be back next week at our regular scheduled time on a Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I know we kind of hit you guys with an okie doke this week on a Thursday, but we'll be back at our normal scheduled time next Wednesday. And before we head out, definitely got to give a huge shout out to Coach Ship. Definitely huge. Definitely appreciate you for tuning in today. Appreciate you. And then we got Cool McCain, my NFC East brethren, NFC Beast brethren, and also my NFL Matchup Madness brethren as well. So, yeah, man, we'll catch you guys next week, and we're out.
Welcome.